Hello, welcome to TechPoint Fundamentals YouTube channel. In this video today we will learn about sealed classes and sealed methods in C Sharp, how we can make a class sealed or how we can make a method as a sealed method. So before continuing this video, if you are new to this channel, you are requested to please subscribe my YouTube channel. So the objective, the agenda of for today is sealed class. What is the use of sealed class and why there is a requirement of sealing a class, right? So sealing is basically used to encapsulate a logic that need to be used across the application or program. We don't need to override or change any method or anything from that class by anybody. So we can mark a class as a sealed class, so nobody can inherit from that class. And also we know that there are a lot of features of OOFs which uh, anybody can use if he is able to inherit from that class, right? For example, if you sealing a class, then it prevents the inheritance feature of the OOPs. Nobody can inherit from that class, and also since it cannot be inherited, the polymorphism feature which provided by the OOPs, that is pillars of OOPs, you can say. So in that case, this is also prevented because it cannot be inherited, and we know that for overriding, inheritance is mandatory, and any child class can override the base class virtual method, right? So this is about a sealed class. Why we have to use the sealed class? Many times there are some security thing, as you can say that there are some sensitive logic, right, which someone has placed in a class, and we don't want to uh, any user to inherit from that class and change any alteration of any method or property. So in that case we can use a sealed class at all. When you define a class as sealed, then all the members actually just we have like a sealed because it cannot be inherited anywhere in the application by any user. So sometimes you have heard a lot of in an interview question that what is the final class or final method as well. So if the purpose of final keyword which is used in Java, so in .NET it is sealed class which uh, fulfill the purpose of the same. But also I will show you one uh, you can say IL code of this sealed class which internally used final keyword to modify any method. Sealed method is for a sealed method, IL compiler generate the IL code with final keyword. So you may be in a dilemma that what is the final keyword, why it is using, but still compiler generates the final keyword for a fine sealed method. I will show that in the demo, so please watch this video to the end so that you can uh, have full knowledge of this sealed class and sealed method. So sealed uh, keyword is not there in VB.NET. So in the VB .NET it use not inheritable attribute, yeah, you can say keyword for making a class as sealed. And in Java, as we discussed, that it used final keyword. So I have written this nice article here. I will provide the link for this article in the description box. So before what I have done till now, I have just written down a simple uh, console application here so that we can look into the demo for this, because it's not possible to write the complete program in that 15 to 20 minutes video. So yes, sealed class, we can basically a sealed class uh, may be a standalone, or you can say any class can be marked as sealed. It is not mandatory that it is only applicable in inheritance chain to define the last access, yeah, inheritance level. So you can make any class as sealed. So if you see here, suppose this class, right? So if you suppose we remove this inheritance from here and you are making this public sealed, it is valid, no issue, because if you see here, this is not inherited by any class. And also because this is virtual method, and this is valid, right? You can make any class a standalone class as sealed. Also you can make any class in the inheritance hierarchy as sealed. If you see here, I have a defined a normal class, base class here, and this base class is inherited by this child class, and this child class is again inherited in this derived class, which is marked as sealed. So this is the, if you see in this inheritance hierarchy level, it will be the last level of inheritance in this inheritance hierarchy, because it is marked as sealed and nobody can inherit from this sealed class anymore. If you try to do so, then see what happened. If you make this user cannot derive from sealed type derived class, right? It is generating a compile time error because nobody can inherit from a sealed class. So yes, a sealed class cannot be inherited by anyone. If you run this program here, it is completely running fine, no issue. And there are some rules which you have to follow when you are making a class as a sealed, right? So let's quickly see the what is the rules which you must have to follow when you are considering uh, to make any class as sealed. The first rule is a sealed class cannot be inherited, right? As we see in this demo, a sealed class cannot be inherited, but it can be instantiated. But you can create the instance of this class. If you see, this is a sealed class with the name derived class. I have created object of this derived class, and if you see, for a sealed class, sealed derived class, constructor is called, derived class methods are called, and everything, it looks like a normal class. Every member can be accessed with the object of a sealed class. The sealed class can be derived but cannot be a base class. It is saying that a class which is derived from any base class can be marked as a sealed, but it cannot be a base class. The same line, if you see in the first line, cannot be inherited, right? In this example, what is the mean that this is a class which is inherited from this child class, and it can be marked as shield, but this derived class cannot be used as a base class for any one class. A shield class can not define any virtual member. If you not familiar about this virtual member or virtual methods, don't I will create a separate video on abstract class and virtual member very soon. So for just now, just remember what is a virtual class. If you use the virtual modifier with any uh, method or member, then it can be overridden in the derived class, right? So this is let me close this application, and this is the method, right? And sealed, and this is a method. If you try to make it virtual here, virtual or abstract method members cannot be private. Let's make it public, right? And it is showing derived class dot show is a new virtual member in a sealed class derived class. It is providing me the compile time error. So you cannot make any member as virtual or abstract in a final you mean this sealed class, because by making this virtual means it may be overridden in the derived class, but a sealed class cannot be inherited, so there is no meaning defining a member as virtual. Same like abstract, if you defining this an abstract class without any body, so like this, if you remove this body here, so also you cannot make any member as uh, abstract in the sealed class. So you also know that an abstract method can only be defined in a abstract class, so you cannot define any abstract or virtual method in any sealed class. So again, a sealed class cannot be abstract or static, right? Sealed class cannot be abstract, right? And a sealed class can also not be defined as static class. A sealed class cannot be abstract or static. A sealed class cannot be contain any abstract method. That's what we have seen. And a sealed class can define the constructor, but constructor cannot be marked as shield. So, right, it's right. A constructor cannot be marked as a shield. So if you see here, I have defined a constructor in a derived class which is shield, and a shield keyword can be used either after or before the access modifier of the class. So this is a, you can say, flexible feature of this shield modifier. You can either use it with after this access modifier public, or if you put it like this, shield public class, it is also valid and it will perfectly running application. There is no issue whether you are putting this shield modifier before access modifier or after access modifier. Sometimes interviewer may ask you to uh, define a syntax or signature of a shield method, or sometimes they provided you some syntax of any method and ask you to whether it is compile or not. So if you see any placement of this shield modifier, then it is valid for both the places, before access modifier and after access modifier. So just note it down. And a field variable cannot be marked as shield, right? Because any field member variable is just local to that class, and it cannot be overridden, right? So there is no sense for making a field variable as shield, so it is not valid. And unlike a shield method, a non-child class can also be defined as shield. The same which I have mentioned in the starting of the video. You can make any standalone class as shield. It is not mandatory that only a child class can be marked as a shield. So you can mark any class as shield in .NET. An interface cannot be defined as shield, right? Because we know that a interface can uh, define just signature or method, and inheriting class have to provide the implementation. So yeah, interface is just used for inheritance purpose, because we cannot create object of interface directly, so there is no meaning to define an interface as shield. So it is not valid to defining a interface as a shield. So this is all about a shield class. And if you're talking about this shield method, then it is mandatory that it can only be defined in the child class, right? A non-child class cannot define abstract shield method, because shield keyword can only be used with the override keyword, and a member can only be overridden in the child class only if it is declared as virtual in the base class, right? A non-virtual member cannot be overridden in the derived class. Also, abstract method of base class can be overridden as shield in the derived class. We know that because abstract method is virtual implicitly. If you see the IL code of abstract member, then it is uh, virtual internally, so that it can be overridden in the derived class. So shield method, for defining a member as shield, it must be a child class, rule number first, and only a virtual member or abstract member of base class can be overridden as a shield method in the derived class. And also uh, the shield keyword can be used only with the override keyword, but also you can put the shield modifier anywhere where defining this member as shield before access modifier or after access modifier, or before override keyword or after override keyword. So this is, in this example, if you see, I have defined a base class. Right here I have defined two virtual members, display and print of base class, and you cannot define any shield member in this class because it is not inheriting from any base class, any other class. And we know that only virtual member of base class can be overridden in the child class or derived class, and I have inherited this base class in this child class. And here if you see, I have overridden this display method of base class which is virtual, and also I have overridden as sealed this print method of this base class which is again virtual. But if you run this program, it is running perfectly, right? I have put this sealed keyword here after this override keyword, but you can put it here as well before override keyword, and if you run the application, it is working, right? There is no impact of uh, placing this sealed keyword before or after this override keyword. But again, if you try to put it before the access modifier, let me see what happened. If you run the program again, it is working fine, right? There is no issue whether you where you are putting this sealed modifier. So perfectly valid, you can put this sealed modifier everywhere where you want, before access modifier, after access modifier, or before override or after override keyword. So the why you use this sealed method? So when you are making any method as sealed, then any inheriting class cannot override that sealed member anymore. In this hierarchy, if you see, since this child class is not marked as sealed, right, but it is containing sealed methods, so this means that this class can be inherited by any other child class, but this sealed method cannot be overridden in any of the inheriting class. But in this class, derived class, which is inherited from this child class, this class, if you see here, it is marked as sealed here. And if you this display method, since display method is overridden here, it is normal override without any sealed modifier, so the inheriting class can override that method, display method, as sealed here. But this method, right, cannot be overridden because it is marked as sealed in this derived class. If you try to do so, let me show you. Public override void print method. This is the print method of this child class, and in this derived class, if you try to override, cannot override inherited member child class print because it is sealed. So you cannot override this member print because it is sealed in this class. So you cannot override any member which is declared as sealed in the class. But if any member is overridden without sealed modifier, it can be overridden again in the derived class in that hierarchy. So one more point I would like to mention here, sealed method can be defined in interface itself, right? And we know that a interface itself cannot be uh, sealed it, but it can contain sealed method. I am not going to demonstrate this method here, sealed method in interface, but I have already created a video on that, so I will recommend you to please watch that video. And access modifier for interface members in C#. Here I have defined every access modifier which interface method can contain, whether it is abstract, virtual, sealed, extern, partial, all the access modifier I have mentioned and demonstrated here. So I will recommend you to watch this video. I will provide the link for this video in the description box. And also, if you if you want to learn more about this static class, which then I have also created a video on this static class, and this static class, static constructor, and static method, why a sealed method cannot be marked as static. So this all about in this video. So I will recommend you to watch this video for this static class and static method. So there is also some rule for defining a method as sealed. So a sealed method can only be defined as in derived class or child class. Sealed keyword is always used with the override keyword, right? We have seen that in the demo. Only virtual member of base class can be overridden. It is right. I have just shown the demo. And an abstract method can also be overridden as sealed. So this is the you can say confusing point when an interviewer asks you. So just make sure abstract method and virtual methods both can be overridden as sealed in the derived class, but we know that an abstract method can only be defined in an abstract method, but a virtual member can be defined in any class. So I will create a separate video on abstract class and abstract method, what are the rules for defining a class and abstract method. So don't worry about that, but for now just remember that both member, abstract method and a virtual method, both can be overridden in the derived class. Since abstract member are virtual implicitly, if you see the IL code, then they are implicitly virtual, that's why they can be overridden. A field variable cannot be marked as sealed. You can specify the sealed modifier before the access modifier, right? I have seen that. Interface can also define sealed method. So I have just shown you that I have created a separate video on that, access modifiers for interface members, and you can watch that video for that demonstration. And now if I would like to show you the IL code which compiler generates for this sealed class and sealed method internally. So let me quickly run this program. It is working perfectly right, and you have to go to this program, Visual Studio tools, developer command prompt, and you have to open ILDSM tool, and here if you open this program in ILDSM, then this derived class, if you see the signature ANSI sealed before filled in it, what compiler have generated this IL code, this is MSIL code, and it is used sealed modifier for defining a class as sealed, right? It is, but again, if you see a method which is sealed, sealed method, it is defined in this display method in this derived class is marked as sealed, right? So if you look the definition of this display method, it used final keyword. So it might be sometimes it may confuse you that is final, what is the final method in C#. So you cannot use this final keyword for defining any member as a sealed, but yes, internally the compiler generates this final keyword for a sealed method. virtual final. And also you can define the destructor for a shield method here, if you see here, and this create a finalize this define the finalize method internally, that which overriding this inherited from this. So this is the destructor which you have defined explicitly in our shield class. So I have defined this shield method versus private method. You can read it here, and this is, you can understand it very easily. I have written in very simple language here. And same shield class versus abstract class in C sharp, and shield class versus static class in C sharp. For again, for this difference, I have created a separate video, as I have mentioned static class and static constructor. So you can watch this video. And a real example of shield class. So it almost time any interviewer ask you, give me some, if you are you using this .NET framework, you are working in .NET technology, so have you ever used this shield class or shield method in any place? So right, this is question is valid. And if you have noticed, this string system.string class is shield. So if you see here, just I will show you the definition. System.string, this is class, and this is shield. So this is the very first and common example of a shield class in .NET framework. System.string class is shield class, right? So the second, the structures are sealed implicitly, right? That's why the inheritance is not supported by a structure. A structure can implement interface, but a class cannot inherit from any structure, or a structure cannot inherit from any structure. Let me show you this in the IL code, what compiler has generated for a structure. I have already defined that structure, but enums are also sealed. If you see here, enums are also sealed implicitly. And if you see this enum definition, user type, that is enum, and nested ANSI sealed. This is basically a class dot, if you see here, dot class and sealed user type. This user type is sealed, and if you see internally, it is just like a class which inherits from system dot enum namespace. So this is sealed completely, and all value types are sealed because all the value types are internally a structure. Static class are sealed implicitly. So I have created a separate video, as I discussed. I have created separate video on this static class and static constructor. So I have demonstrated there about static class, the IL code of for this static class generated by the compiler. So you can visit this video, and I have also provided the article link in this video. So this is the common reason why should shield class be used in the .NET. So again, you can read this from this article, and here is I have also written a simple program here, and you can visit this article and play around with this video. And in this video, I have also defined the interface, which interface can also define shield method. Here if you see here, this I have created a shield method in the interface. So but before running this program, if you try to run this program from this article to your Visual Studio, then make sure this feature is only available in C# 8, it will not compile and run on traditional version, the version which is below C sharp 8. So just make sure this interface with the sealed method is only applicable in C sharp 8. So just note that if you run this program in your Visual Studio. So thanks for watching this video. That's all for today. I hope you will enjoy this video. So please like, subscribe and share this video. Also please don't forget to do comment if you have any doubt. Just do a comment. I will reply that query. And also if you have any doubt regarding this, then please do comment. Thank you very much.